Hi guys, Squirrel here, welcome back to another Trucking Diaries EU. If you remember, we are in Krakow, which is like southern sort of Poland. And I've looked in the job market quickly and I've found a nice job here. It does take us back in towards Poland, towards Lublin. But if you look at it, it's actually a fragile, important delivery, which means we get like 9,400 for only doing 300 kilometers. And I was looking at this one and thinking, oh, we could take that instead. But it's 481 kilometers and takes us that way. And I kind of want to do a little bit of Poland and then head south down here, if possible. I don't really want to take us back towards where we're coming from, if that makes sense. There are some nice deliveries down here, but most of them, as you can see, just go in that general direction. Nothing really goes either this way or that way. Well, there are some that do, but they don't pay anything like this thing, because this thing is fragile and important. Although I don't know why transmissions are classed as fragile, but hey-ho. It is 9 o'clock at night. We do need to rest in 6 hours. I don't know if we'll make it without resting. I've got a feeling that we might do. I think we can do it, but we shall see. Let's hope we get through these lights first. Cool. Right, now remember I'm running that mod that removes the flashing green pickup thingy. So it's going to be one of those, and you can see they're all identical, so this is going to be hilarious. We're going to have to try and work out which is our trailer here. Right, freight market, take job. Right, let's see if we can work this out by looking at them. Nothing obvious on the first one. Nothing obvious on the second one. Or indeed the third one. Okay. So it kind of looks like we have to sort of guess then which one it might be. So I guess this is the downside of using this mod. It could have at least put something at the back though. Right, it's not that one. It's not trailer A. Yeah, surely they could have put some markers down on the starter like they do on the drop-off. Is it this one? Yes. I was about to say, Sod's Law is going to say it's the third one. Alright, so that's the downside. There's a little bit of guesswork going on. But, hey, this trailer looks pretty good with this truck, actually. Works really well. Parking brake engaged. Of course it is, why wouldn't it be? Right, let's get on the road. So we're expected 4 hours 56 minutes, which means we are within our 6-hour time slot. And given that it's only like a 5-hour drive, it's going to be 2 AM. So we could then potentially sleep, and it would bring us around to about 10 AM, something like that. Which will have the net effect of moving our body clock around so that we're driving more in the day. However, although it's 9 o'clock at night, it's still quite light at the moment. Given though that we're currently in September at the point where I'm recording this video. We'll very shortly be in, whoops, speeding. Very shortly be in October. I think I'm going to look for the autumn mod that I used to use last year. I hope it works on the latest Euro truck. I shall try and find it. Because that will sort of make the trees and the vegetation start to look a bit more brown as autumn kicks in. Which is basically what's happening outside of my house right now, is everything's starting to look a little bit brown. We've now gone down below 12-hour days, I think. Have we? Yes, we have. We have. So that happens around the 20... Whoops. I thought he was going right for some reason. Don't you dare move and crash into me. Honestly thought the guy was going right. Yeah, we've gone beyond the Vernal Equinox. What the heck is the Vernal Equinox, squirrel? The Vernal Equinox is... Well, the equinox happens 2 times a year. The spring equinox and the vernal equinox. And they are the points where the Earth, as it rotates around the sun, is effectively neither facing away or facing towards the sun. Because if you imagine, the Earth is tilted on its axis towards the sun, and as it moves around, in winter it's kind of facing away, and in summer it's facing towards. That's what gives us the whole seasons. And the equinox is when it's neither facing away nor towards it, and that gives you exactly 12-hour days. And it's also the point where we sort of class as going from summer into winter or from winter into spring. It's called the equinox, and the spring one happens, you know, in March around about the 21st, and then the vernal one happens in September around about the 21st. I think we'll lock our speed in there. Let's have a very quick look on the map just to see if there's anywhere that we might want to swing by on the way, although it doesn't look promising at the moment. Trip time is 4:28, 2:76. If we went that way, it would be 3:44 and 5:33, which could make us late for the delivery. But, and here's the very big but, Kim Kardashian style. We are probably unlikely to ever visit this town or city unless we specifically go there. It's got 2 discoverables in it, which means one of them's a truck dealer and one of them's an agent. And I kind of think, like, although it's going to take us about another 45 minutes, it's actually worth the journey in this case because it is out of the way. So let's do that one, but let's pick up the speed and see if I can't get this nearer to the actual speed limit. Don't know if we can get away with 5L, let's try it. I think we can until we come to a bit of a hill, when this engine will actually struggle. There we go. You can move over now, mate. Seriously, don't hog the inside lane. Yeah, as soon as we come up an elevation, this thing's going to struggle. So yeah, we've kind of, what I was trying to say earlier was, we've gone past the vernal equinox, so technically, you know, once the days start to get shorter than 12 hours of daylight, that's what triggers the plants, the trees to shed their leaves because they don't get enough sunlight anymore. And that is in fact why they shed their leaves. I remember being young and thinking to myself, how do trees know when to shed their leaves? Like, what tells them to do that? Like, how does it work? What tells them to do it? It turns out nothing really tells them to do it. It's just a natural thing that happens because there's not enough daylight to get enough energy on all the leaves for the trees to then, you know, feed the leaves, as it were, and keep them alive. So the whole process shuts down and all the leaves fall off. That's the net effect. And when there's enough daylight again next year, the whole process starts again. It's quite simple. Like a lot of things in nature, it's built on very simple systems, but added together, they appear to be very complex. It's cool. So if you never knew that, well, now you do. And if you already knew that, well, congrats. Anyway, I'll be installing the autumn mod, if I can. That's all you probably need to know, to be honest. Let's go back into 5L. Yeah, you can say I had to drop it down a gear as soon as we went up that incline. It just can't cope with it, this engine. But it looks like we're going to have a very moonlit night by the look of it, because you can see outside, although it's cracking on for 10:30 PM, the visibility is amazing. You can actually see quite a distance. Those buildings on the right look kind of pinky purple, don't they? How bizarre. Kielch to the right? Oh god. Do you know what? I just hate lane drop-offs. I really do. Let's get back over there. I think I can't remember if I mentioned in the last video or not. I think yeah, I'm sure I mentioned it in the... Well, you've probably heard by now, but I'm going to Flight SimCon at RAF Cosford. It's an annual thing. I went there last year and I met a bunch of you guys. It was awesome. It's on again this year. Same place, RAF Cosford. It's the Flight Sim show, and if you've never been and you don't live too far away, then it's definitely worth a visit. It's not a massive event. It's only cost like £10 to get in. But it's getting bigger. You know, every year it's getting more popular. And if you do fancy swinging by and saying hi, then I will be there all day. Also, I think Laminar Research are going to be there. Austin Mayer, the creator of X-Plane, he's going to be there with some big announcement that he's got. So that's going to be fun. But they've always, you know, they've got flight sim equipment on and all that kind of thing. It's worth seeing. But it's just one of the events I go to this year. I think that will be that, and then probably Insomnia I-59 in December at the NEC. They'll be the two events that I'm going to this year for the remainder of this year. I don't plan on going to any more trucking conventions, or, you know, I'm not going to TwitchCon this year. I went to TwitchCon last year. I'm not going this year. And I don't bother to go EGX. I don't bother to go to those events anymore because they are primarily console. They have a console AAA focus to them, and you know, I'm not really about console AAA. In fact, I can't remember the last time I switched to console on, to be honest. And I'm certainly PC, and very much not AAA, you know. So I don't really get much out of those things. Whereas Insomnia is, you know, it does still have a very strong kind of PC suit to it, especially with the whole LAN thing going on. I don't see PC stopping there anytime soon at Insomnia. There's a lot of custom builders, a lot of hardware vendors, and it's although they do have a lot of consoles, particularly this year, Insomnia has very much gone into the big players have turned up, like Sony was there, Microsoft were there with their Xbox stuff. So it is definitely picking up in that respect. It still remains true to having a relatively good or relatively strong PC following, which is what I hope it will continue to do. Also, Insomnia has the pub quiz, which is just crazy and fun, but also impossible to get into. It's insanely hard to get tickets to the pub quiz. They sell out within 10 to 15 minutes of going on sale, and they don't really announce them going on sale. It's just, oh. And it's getting bigger. Like, they're trying to set the Guinness Book of Records for the largest pub quiz. And I think they had it up to, is it 3,500 this year or something? They're trying to shoot for 4. Wow, that speed limit just got cut. I think they're trying to shoot for 4,000 in the pub quiz, or something over that. You can imagine how big that is. It's basically one room of the NEC now. One hall of the NEC. A big hall is just filled with round tables and chairs, and then a massive kind of they take over the stage with giant screens, and in the middle of the tables they put beer. Now, the last Insomnia, the one before, it was sponsored by Bethesda, who put Fallout 4 beer. So you turn up to your table and there's a massive crate of Fallout 4 beer just sat in the middle of the table. So you start tucking into that, and then of course you can go and buy stuff at the bar, but the net effect is that everybody has quite a few beers, and the questions that get asked are all kind of gaming related, and some of them are really hard. They really are, and they're not just kind of questions about games. They'll often be pictures, like characters from games. They'll show you different pictures, and you have to, you know, kind of guess which game it's from, or there'll be some really obtuse puzzle thing you have to do. Oh, you have to experience it. The pub quiz is pretty insane. But, you know, I do like Insomnia. I've been to 3 of them now, and I always stream from them as well now, from the Asus booth. I do a little stream as well. And it's good fun. It's very good fun, Insomnia. It's got a great feel to it. I love the layout this year. Insomnia 58, the layout was fantastic. They left proper kind of wide open spaces down the middle, like the walkways, because too often you go to these events and they're so kind of like they cram as many stages in, not stages, what are they called? What's the name? Booths, I think they call them. Cram as many booths as they can into the area, whereas with the NEC, because it is so flipping big, they've got the space, so they just book out a number of these halls and then people rent the booth spaces, but in between the booths they've got adequate walkways so people can walk around and just enjoy themselves, and it doesn't feel like claustrophobic. So I did like that. But yeah, you can try like VR stuff if you go there. There's plenty of VR things. There was some company that had a HTC Vive, and they had a remote control, you know those remote control drones that you can fly around with cameras on? They had one of them. They built this kind of a game thing where you could use a HTC Vive and basically first person a drone. Man, that was the weirdest thing. That was a weird game, a weird sim, and they were basically racing them, so you could, because I think they do drone races, but these drone races were unbelievable, like especially given that they were on the Vive. First person flying around in a drone, which are already very, very agile, that's going to make you feel pretty queasy, I think. Okay, so we're going right here. Wow, speed cameras or speed bumps, sorry, sleeping policeman. I think the suspension on that is unrealistic when you drive over those things. Like, look at this, the speed limit's 50 k's, I'm doing 37, and look at the reaction on the truck. It's just, I don't know, is that realistic? It seems to me like it doesn't absorb it enough. (1 AM) and it's starting to get dark, but you can see there's a bit of moonlight out there. Wow, what the heck? There are pieces of tarmac missing out the road. What? You see, there you go. That's about as unrealistic as it gets there for a bump. I'm just trying to stay clear of these things. Good grief. It's weird because you can actually see that there's a chunk of tarmac missing, and yet physically the truck reacts as if it's going over a large bump. Okay, that's really odd. There's no lines down the side of the road, but there are cat's eyes. Why didn't they just paint the line? I tell you what, I saw a video on YouTube once of, I think it was a guy in Belgium or France or something, and he was painting lines on the road at night in the city. It's unbelievable to watch. It's actually unbelievable. He's got this vehicle, how can I describe this? He stands on the back of it. It's like a giant shopping trolley, effectively. He stands on the back of it. And it's essentially got an engine on it, obviously with a steering wheel that you can, you know, steer it with. So it's kind of like a motorized giant shopping trolley, which also has obviously tanks of the white paint that he's going to use. And then down the right-hand side, it has like a sprayer, but it's a pretty accurate sprayer. And essentially what he's doing is he's driving along, and when he presses a button, it sprays the white paint out of the side of... Where's you going? It sprays the white paint onto the floor in exactly the right kind of width. So it basically sprays a perfect white line. That's what it does. And also if he presses another button, it sprays yellow paint. Right? Which all sounds perfectly fine. Except this guy drives down the road at speeds like you wouldn't believe the speed this guy goes. It's just astonishing to watch. He just drives along, he's like... just painting like large tracts of road in paint. Like this here is easy mode, but bearing in mind he's in the middle of a city, so he's painting like complicated patterns on the road, but he's just flying up and down doing it, and you're looking at it thinking that is actually insane. And they're all like beautifully straight. There's not one that's like crooked or kinky or anything like that. I don't know if you I don't know how you would Google for it, because I can't remember I can't even remember how I got to the video. You know what it's like. You go on YouTube, you watch one video, you get a bunch of suggested stuff, and next thing you know, you're like, how did I even end up here? That's what happened. But if you ever find the video, I thoroughly recommend it. It is brilliant. Wait, how come it's like showing us that we need to rest in 1 hour? I thought we had loads of time. Or ETA's 1 hour. Okay, looks like we're going to be pushing to get this there before we need to sleep, so I don't think the job's going to cope with us being late. Saturday, no it's not. Very much isn't. So doing this journey is... I have to risk it! Oh my god! We're in a bit of a rush here. Yeah, otherwise I'm going to start getting penalised for being late. And on a job, that's the worst thing, is now, because we happen to be on an important, delicate delivery, if we are late, we get massive penalties, which is really going to hit the bottom line. Okay, right, discoverable's done. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, I misjudged that. Yeah, our ETA is 1 hour, 14 minutes, and our sleep is 58. So that's not a good position to be in, so I'm going to have to floor it now. I'm not too bothered about fuel economy either, because the cost of being late is going to get vastly outweighed for the cost of the fuel. You'd have to wait, pal. Priority delivery coming through here. In before I end up in the middle of another Cardiff to Rostock disaster video. Which has still been voted, like, not voted, but certainly my my Twitch community tell me that that is one of my most popular videos, as in Cardiff to Rostock disaster and the Volvo 70-ton Volvo series. They are by far the most rewatched videos that they have on their list. I don't know if you agree with that, but that's what I've been told. If we can get away with a little bit of speeding here, a little bit of light speeding in a very non-built up area, in the rain at 2:30 AM. Oh, hello. Wow. Wow. I just said that and they put a flipping policeman there at 2:30 in the morning. Well, you know what that is? It's because they put them there in the map and they cannot control when they appear. Because the game doesn't allow it in terms of modding. It just doesn't allow it, which has been something that I've harped on about for a long time. In terms of, you know, just embed a Lua scripting engine into this game, and then allow the mod authors to use it to do dynamic things on the fly. Just seriously, let people do that. Because what they could then do is just script that right there to say, that policeman and his car, we're going to spawn that. There could be like 4 or 5 different locations in that town where they could spawn it. And then they're going to look at the time of day and take that into consideration. Because let's face it, he is not going to be there at 2:30 in the morning. That's just crazy. He's going to be there in daylight hours in good weather, because that's what the police do. They don't turn up in the you know, the rain at 2:30 in the morning. They just don't do it. It's not worth their time for a start. But the scripting would allow them to code that in, very simply. I don't think it's something they're going to do, SCS. I really wish they would, but I don't know. I don't know why they don't do it. I really don't. It would certainly be on my... If I was, like, in charge of the game, it'd be on my list. It'd be pretty high up on my list. Get some scripting support. And Lua seems like the natural choice. LUA, it's a scripting language that's built to be embedded. LUA, it's very popular. It's used in a lot of things. Things like World of Warcraft has it. And lets you completely... Like, World of Warcraft is so scriptable that you can completely change the UI. Like, completely change the UI. Replace the old one so you don't even have anything from Blizzard. That's how scriptable that is. And you know what? That's a beautiful thing. Because they build their UI using the same scripting engine that they use. That they ship with. Oh, my guy's yawning so much. Right, the weather's gone pretty disgusting outside. And yes, I am flooring it. ETA 15 minutes. Sleep time 0. Oh dear. Well, I think I'm probably going to get a... Fine. Actually, we're very lucky as well. Look at that. There's a rest area right next to the delivery point, which means I've got a good chance of dropping this off and then getting back round to a rest stop before I get fined. Come on, lights, be nice to me. Be nice, come on, please, be nice. Just this one time, please. You utter scumbags. You utter scumbags. Let's just wait till Squirrel stops and then we'll change. Isn't it always the way? Right, I'm assuming it's down here. Wow, is that Renault actually parked? It isn't it? There's no driver. What the heck? Right, so, my game crashed just as I drove past the Renault. Just as I drove past the Renault, my game crashed, and I tried 7 or 8 times to drive past it, and every time the game kept crashing. So I've teleported past the Renault. I don't know what the problem is, but I think the problem is something down that road there. So, first thing we're going to do is basically park this thing. And then try and work out what the problem was. Genuinely no idea why that happened. But it happens. So I'm just going to go ahead here and drop the trailer. Sorry about that. But the game crashed as I was came past the Renault. Oh look, there's no driver in there. Boom. It just crashed on me. So at least I get to finish the video. We did like 99% of the journey, but I can't show the last 100 meters. But anyway, that takes us into level 6. We get paid 9,400. We did get it on there on time. So we have got our lovely bonus and all that kind of thing. And we get another point to spend in here. So let's see, what should we do? Fragile, high value. Should we go for another ADR type thing? Or do we go for a bit of a discount on the fuel? Discount on the fuel definitely is a good idea. Explosive dynamite, fireworks and emission pays well. Flammable liquids. It'd be kind of nice to take a tank of something at some point. Not too worried about the dynamite fuel. They're pretty boring trailers. Flammable liquids such as petrol, diesel, kerosene, they probably pay quite well. Let's take that one. I'll unlock a bunch of fuel tanks. But yeah, we can try and see if we can drive back round the corner. And see whether it crashes on the way back out as well as on the way in. And if it does, I'll just have to teleport back to the rest spot down here. We'll see what happens. Very strange. Right, I've arrived at the rest area. I shall explain what happened. I'll just rest for a second. Because I'm about to get fined. Let me quickly show you what happened on the map. So, essentially, we made the turn into the final destination. And you know, when I went to the... I saw the Renault on the left. And I said to you, oh, there's no driver in there. That was actually a rest area right on the side of the road. There was a painted rest area. As soon as I got to the rest area at the back of the Renault, it crashed. So I tried spawning back in and teleporting just past it under the bridge and it crashed. So I ended up having to deliver it. And then when I drove back out again and I got to the tunnel right under the archway, it crashed again. So basically what I've done is I've teleported over to here, away from that, and it's fine. So I think there's some kind of map problem right underneath the archway of the bridge. And that crashes my game. And it obviously is a bug with ProMod, so I'll tell ProMod's people about it. As it happens, last night I slept next to another Renault. A beautiful Renault. A lovely DHL Renault. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, some kind of bug in the map, but that's the kind of thing that happens with mods, right? Anyway, we made the delivery. We're leveled up. We're getting paid. We're now up to 45 grand. If you have a very quick look at what's going on with the drivers now, let's see if they're making any money. Well, Will has made 500. And Tina, she's basically on an extended coffee break by the look of it. Apparently, she's not been able to work or something. Nope, she's not done a single thing. Well, thank you, Tina. If you don't actually do... Look, oh my God. Will has done 2 jobs. What is going on here? Will has done 2 jobs and made a lot of money. And Tina is literally doing nothing. So she's getting sacked in the next episode if she doesn't pull her skirt up a bit and get on with it. Right, that's it for this episode of Trucking Diaries EU. Give me a like if you enjoyed the video, guys. Until the next one, take care. Happy trucking.